Hello guys and welcome to today's tutorial. I'm still Gabriel. I'm not going anywhere. So for today's tutorial we are going to look at string more. We are going to look at strings in total. So let's look at strings. I like to use my name. I say my name is Gabriel. Okay, so we are going to look at different operations that you can do with these strings. Okay, different operations that you can do with a string. So if I do print name dot, now if you're on VS Code or if you're on any IDE, once you put a dot, all these things that you're seeing here, capitalize, case fold, center, count, encode, end suite, so all these things you're seeing here are different methods that the string object has. Let's use one that is very simple, upper. Okay, so now I said, let me repeat myself. I said if you're on VS Code and you just type a particular object, say string, and you put dot, all these things you're seeing now from A to Z, all of them are methods that are under the string object. So I want to show us upper and how it works. So this is a method, right? This is a method. It is a method because of this dot. Methods are different from functions. Okay, methods are different from functions because a method is particular, and is peculiar to a particular object. A method is peculiar to a particular object, so a method can only act on an object. So this is an object name, a string object. I will now say dot upper. So you should have at the back of your mind that this upper means up. Let me show you. So you can see here that at the end of the day I have Gabriel in capital letter, but I typed Gabriel in small letter. Let me even make this one small. So I have what Gabriel in capital letter. That is because I did name dot upper. So upper is a string method that capitalizes, I think, in uppercase. Just look at it as an uppercase. So upper is a method that converts. Remember, a method is different from a string. I will still take my time to explain it. So upper is a method that converts a string object to the uppercase. Okay, that is what upper method does. Let me paste this thing here. So if I run this code, you can see that this is upper. I still said name dot upper and it is still upper. So if I do this thing lower, you should know what it will do. So it will return it in small letter, low Gabriel, in small letters or in lower case. So that is what the lower method does. There are plenty of them, and what I do is I go through them one after the other and see what to do with them. So for this particular video, I'm going to go over all these things one after the other. I hope I do. So if I run this code without putting my parentheses, this is just an object. I'm not calling the build, I'm not calling the method, I'm just writing dot lower. Look at it, I did not put this parenthesis. Okay, so if you make that mistake, this is what you will have printed. So but if I include my parentheses, you can now see that it will convert it to what? Lower. So the next one is dot, let's follow it accordingly. Capitalize. So what capitalize simply does is that it capitalizes the first, look at it. So you can see that this thing, all of them were in capital letter, but using dot capitalize will only make uh, the first alphabet to the capital. So if I had this thing in small letter Gabe, you will see that only the first letter will be what? In capital. So apart from capitalize, let's go over the next one, dot the case fold. So case fold will simply It is mainly used for comparison. It doesn't do much. If I do name dot case fold, it will still be in small letter. If I make this thing capital, it will still be in small letter. So it just it doesn't do much. It's not like it's the same with lower. No, it's not the same with lower, but the output is the same with lower. I don't know. Let's just go over it. It will see return return a version of the string suitable for caseless comparisons. So this is when you want to make a comparison. Okay, if you want to make a comparison between two different objects, you do it in caseful. But I will advise, if you want to make a string small letter, use lower. Don't use casefold. Use lower. I don't even use this casefold much. So the next one here is center, and center is simply centers the text. I think it takes an argument. Let's see, you can write 15, and then if I run this program, you can see where my game is. Okay, so I won't go over everything, because I won't go over everything, but the idea is that I want you to go through all these methods. Okay, go through all the methods under the string object and see what to do with them and how to use them. Figure it out yourself. Now I'm going to show you how to figure it out, and it's now left for you to figure it out yourself. So let's hover over this center. You can see that it takes two arguments, a width and a fill character. So it means that if I come here and write and do like star, watch, so you're going to see Gabe, star 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 Gabe, star 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 star. So this 15 means that I will have 15, this thing will be 15 in length, and then Gabe will now be in the middle. Okay, so that is what the center does. It simply centers whatever thing we have. It simply puts it in the middle. And if I just say 15, you will see I'll have just Gabe. This place here will now be empty, and here will now be empty. So there's really nothing much. You're just going to figure it out yourself. I may do some bit of explanation. So we've done center, we've done case fold, we've done capitalize, we've done lower. L just is to justify to the left. L just is simply to justify to the left. So what you're going to do is that you're going to, on your own, check if what I said is true. And how do you check if it's true? Just you simply test it out. You can say L just, and then if I run this code, you'll now see what it does. I think there's an arrow just to make it much more better to understand. So you can see that it moved it 5 places, like 5 steps ahead. So that is what ljust does, arrow just does. But ljust is for the left justify. Okay, that's what it is. And then arrow just is for right justify. So let's continue with what we are explaining. So there is encode, there is end switch, there is extend tabs. So go through each of these things one after the other and see what you can do with them. Okay, now if you are on Android phone, you may be wondering, how do I hover? Well, the best thing to do is you print the directory under name. Okay, so if I run this code, it's going to show you those things that you saw coming out. So for now as a beginner, don't worry about all these ones that have underscores. Where are they? Anything that has an underscore, listen up. Whenever I tell you about dir like this, and you print it and you see all these things, don't worry about the ones that have underscores. For now, it's not really important. Even I myself, at some point, I don't even use them. But anyone that doesn't have underscore, like from this capitalized down to the last one, z fill, is really important. You should know what each of them does. Okay, you should know. It's very important. You should know. I'm not going to bring cane and flog anybody for not knowing, but it's important you know so that when a particular challenge comes up, you will know how to handle it. So from this capitalize down to Z fill is what you need to know, and you can see that it is the same thing that occurs when I hover. So you can see them capitalize, and you can see capitalize, case fold, center. So that's exactly the same thing. The last one on this place is what? Z fill, and is the last one here. Okay, so that's the last thing you need to worry about. So anyone that doesn't have underscores is what you should be interested in. So anyone that has underscores, don't worry about them. Okay, so that is how you can use your Android phone, and you can see the directories under a particular string. So this is something as doing str dot, so you can see all of them. You can see all of them. So because name is a string object, you can still say directory under str. Okay, and you will have exactly the same thing. Now let me advise us. One way to learn is to try and do things on your own. Don't just watch this video and then you are imagining it in your head. Okay, yeah, Gabriel wrote str. Okay, finish, and you stop there. No, you are killing your programming career. I don't mean to sound rude, but that's exactly what is happening. You are killing the programming career in you. So one way to learn is try to make sure you code it yourself. Make mistakes and correct your mistakes, so you will see yourself growing in the programming world. Okay, that is how you learn, by simply typing the code to yourself. Don't just watch this video. Maybe you are using your phone to watch the video. You just watch the video from A to Z, and you won't even open your PyDroid 3 to implement one thing, not even one. My dear, that's no, you're not going to prosper in this field, because this field is all about doing it yourself. When the challenge comes up tomorrow, when you go to take a job in any company and they ask you to do one small thing, you cannot do it, how will you? And you do, it was those videos you were watching Gabriel's tutorial. How are you going to do those things? How are you going to get the problem solved when you are not actually coding? So because one way we learn is by learning from our mistakes. So it's when you now begin to code, you make mistakes, you correct those mistakes, you ask me questions. I always say ask questions, ask questions. You ask me questions, I answer those questions, then you will see yourself grow. So my dear, always write, try to write codes. You can watch a particular thing, keep your phone aside, try to implement those things you've done. Try new things. Think of crazy things that I didn't even talk about. Ask yourself, why is this working? Why is this not working? What can I do? What can I not do? Anything at all, just feel free and ask me, and I will always try as much as I can to answer, even if it means making a new video to explain what I've explained before. I wouldn't mind, just so you understand. Okay, so I just made this video. It didn't have much. I just wanted to show us how to use the dir function and how to perform operations under string. Let's see how long we have. Okay, how to perform operations under string. Okay, so, and you can see exactly how you can do it in Python. So let me go to operations under the integer. So let's make an integer. Let's say, let's go give it a number, and we can say number is 15. Okay, this is an integer. Let's print number. Let's just put dot. So you can see that the integer class does not have much. It doesn't really have much. Nothing so interesting about the integer class. So it just has a few methods as integer ratio, bit count, bit length, and all. And seriously, I've not used any of these. methods at all. I've not used it for anything, I will not lie. But it's also good you know that there are operations, or rather methods, under every data type which we've discussed. So if I have a float, let's say point this, so this has already made this thing a float. If I go and put my point, you can see how to you can see some methods that are under the float object. So try it out yourself. And one way of trying is, not every time you open a new program, so you can just simply go to your what's it called, your terminal, hit Python. I showed you how to do this from your phone. So if you want to do something real quick, uh, you can just say directory under str, okay, and then you will see what you want to see, and then sharp sharp you get what you need. So that way you can leverage the mobile phone on your hand, so you don't always have to wait for system to do the dot, and wait for it to bring out the methods. So you can just use your phone and go to the terminal or the Python interpreter. Let's say you want to get the methods under the integer, you can just say dir under int, and you can see all the methods. And remember, I said don't worry about all these ones with underscores. So anything with an underscore shouldn't be a headache for you now. So just worry about these ones that are not underscores, and then so whatever data type we treat, if you want to get all the methods under them, you just do dir under float. You can get it one time and you will see all the methods under it. Now let me show us something, a very quickly. Let me show us the difference between strings between functions and methods. Now we have talked about print. It is a function. I know you should be familiar with these functions: type, str, float, int. You should be familiar with these ones: directory, help. So you should know all these functions. So all these ones are functions, because you can just simply print, say something, hello. You can check the type of something. Let's say you want to check the type of 12, like this. You can do string and convert 12. Okay, let's not use 12, 145 to a string. Float, you can convert 2.6 to a float. Integer, you can convert 10 to an integer. Directory, you can check the directory under a particular data type. Help, you can check help under a particular data type. So all these ones are what? Functions, and you can see their format: the function name, a parenthesis, and if it and whatever it takes. So these ones from here to here are functions. But methods are something like this. Let's say you have your name, and then your name is Mike. So you can say Mike, or rather name dot upper. So you can see the difference. This particular dot upper is just under what? Name. Now if I have age and I say that my age is 27, okay, I cannot do age dot upper. It's not even possible, and you can see there is no pop-up for upper.